Okay, so let's discuss about the term format specifier. Now, what is actually this does? All right, so we are defining a lot of data types. The types of data like integer, character, float, double. All right, so we have, and also along with this we have string, right? So along with this means that when we define it is a data type of integer, automatically there will be a 2 or a 4 byte based on the 32-bit or 64-bit processor. A 2 byte or a 4 byte data will be allocated, right, for the data to be stored. Okay, so the compiler also should know that the particular set of data is actually going to be present to them. Okay, so once when now the problem is how will the compiler will know that is he is going to store an integer value, or he is going to display an integer value. All right, so for that particular purpose we use a special symbol like percentage over here. All right, okay, and this percentage along with the particular alphabet will define which particular type of data should be actually stored onto or should be displayed to the particular user. All right, so the percentage D will represent you have to display or have to store a particular integer value, because we already have defined somewhere like integer. We are going to store for a particular variable, we are going to store an integer value. So the compiler should know that to this particular value we have to store an integer value. Only then it both will get matched and the process will work. All right, so let's see one simple example for that. Okay, so now let's say this is a particular program. Okay, now this is a particular program over here. So we are going to find how a format specifier actually works. All right, so I have actually defined over here like I have defined int a equal to 5. Okay, float value, I have defined float value. I have defined a double, c is equal to a decimal value. I have defined a character d which stores a letter a, and if I need to store a string I use a character and an array. All right, and an array here, and I will mention how many letters is actually stored over here. All right, so if in this particular case, if you notice, okay, if you have noticed, you can see that in the case of a character, we have for storing a string and also an alphabet, we use the same data type, that is the character data type. But to differentiate between an alphabet and a set of alphabets, we use a symbol like this square box, right? We actually use a symbol like a variable name followed with a square bracket and a closing square bracket. All right, so this opening and closing square bracket is what we actually call as an array. Okay, so we are actually going to store here as a set of alphabets, that is we are going to store an array of alphabets here. All right, so and another symbol which you will notice over here is to store a single alphabet we use a symbol single quotes. All right, we used a symbol single quotes over here. All right, but in the case of storing a set of alphabets we use the symbol double quotes over here. All right, okay, so these are a few factors over here. Now let's say what actually happens once when we have to display an integer value. Now the computer have actually stored the value of a as an integer. Okay, the value of a has been already stored as an integer, that is of value 5. So when I have to display the value of a to the user, okay, or to the next programs or anything, then I will have to mention that the compiler should expect is an integer value. So the compiler should extract from the memory location an integer value. Okay, so for that particular purpose we use the keyword percentage d over here. So this is the format specifier. Now this specifies that which particular format the data has been already stored or has to be stored in that particular memory location. That is the definition of a format specifier. It is actually specifying what type of format the data is. Alright. Okay, so once when we run this particular program, you will see the output accordingly. So we have, for integer we have %d, and for character we have %c, okay, and for float we have %f, and for double it is actually the double the size of the float. So it is actually something like a long double, a long float. So we use the term L followed by an F. Okay, so %lf is actually used to represent double over here. Because of the term double, there is nothing like a float, long float or something. Okay, we have long double, but we do not have a long float, because long float is actually the double. Okay, so and also you can represent the size difference also shows the same. 4 is for the size allocated for float, and 8 is the size allocated for the double. Alright, so if it is a short end, we use a format specifier %h and followed by d, which represents the integer. So if it is an unsigned value, we use %u as which this u represents the unsigned data. Alright, so if it is a long, it is L, and for unsigned it is a u. Okay, so if it is something like a long int, then we have to go for %lli. Alright, and if it is an unsigned long int, we go for the first preference goes to the long and then to the unsigned, so %lu. Alright, so for character it is %c. Alright, so let's work out and see how it works. Now based on that, for float I have mentioned here %f, for double I have mentioned here %lf, for character d I have mentioned %c, and for set of characters, that is for e, the variable e, I have actually used a %s. Okay, so for set of character, that is for a character array, we use the string that is %s as our format specifier. Alright, so now let's run and see what happens. I have compiled with 0 errors, I believe. Yeah, it is 0 errors. Alright, so now as I run this particular program, alright, okay, so now once when we run this particular program, you have actually found that this integer %d has been taken with this particular value, and float value has been taken with this particular value, and double the value has been taken with this. So all these things has been the percentage, the format specifier have actually replaced the symbol with the corresponding value over here. Alright, now let's experiment a few by saying, like, let's say what will happen if I mention d over here. Okay, let's see to it. Okay, so now if you could see that if I have mentioned a float, there wasn't any compile time error, there was some sort of errors was 0, everything was 0. Alright, but once when I run this particular program, instead of having a proper value, I am actually getting an integer value over here. See, right? So instead of having a 5.43 as a value, I am getting an integer value over here with a sign symbol here, that is a minus symbol over here, which means the compiler have got confused. Okay, there was an integer value, but I actually wanted was a decimal value, but but what happened was, instead of that decimal value, it returned, since I have given a %d over here, it fetched a decimal value, an integer value from b and displayed over here. Okay, got the difference? So I mentioned the data type as float over here. Okay, so it stored the value as a float, as a decimal value, but since I asked to extract a integer value from the address location b, it actually did the command. It extracted an integer value. That is why I have minus 5368 some value over here. Alright, so it's not actually feasible, right? So it's not correct actually, right? So I have to change, if I change it to back to f. So now what happens if I give a long float? Okay, what will happen if I give a long float? It shows an error. There is nothing called as a long here. Okay, because long float is something same as our double, so we don't have anything called as long float. But I can have a long int, right? And I just have to mention here ld, right? Let's see. Right, so this right now I have run with 0 errors, and it will show the long integer over here. Okay, so that is about that. Okay, so that is a few terms which we use, and also we can go for shorthand which have a %hd. All right, I can go for short int, which will actually give me hd is the command which format specifier which I have to use. Alright, so let's work on that. Yeah, it also runs perfectly with 0 errors and everything looks good, right? Alright, so that is about the format specifiers. So what happens if I go for a character over here? So if I go for a b, then what will happen? Okay, let's see about that. Oh, it shows an error. It's actually not an error, but it's a warning actually. So what means it is multi-character is actually not supported for a single character data type. Alright, so what happens is that once when I run this particular program, it actually shows me is the last alphabet of the particular character B. Alright, okay, it is showing the last character of the alphabet. So that was the only value which could be stored actually, right? So that is about the basic concepts of format specifiers. Now let's see how much data is actually stored, how much memory location has been given to each of these data types, right? So they are saying like integer is going to store around 2 bytes or 4 bytes based on the processor, processor. Okay, character 1 byte, and float 4 byte, and double 8 bytes. So is it true? Let's see how much is stored in my computer. Alright, so for that particular factor I use a keyword called as size of. Okay, for that I use a keyword called as size of. Okay, now this actually gives me how much space has been allocated for each and every single data type which I already have defined over here. Alright, okay, so let's see about each and every data type, how much size has been allocated for integer, float, double, character and string. Okay, so I'm going to run it with 0 errors. Now just run the particular program. Alright, so actually if you look into it, you can see that. Okay, if you could look into it, you can see that integer int a equal to 5, a is an integer value, so the variable a is actually an integer, b is a data type of float, the variable c is a double, and the variable d is a character, and variable e is a string. Alright, okay, so now if you could see over here, this is the window which actually shows the size of each and every single data types which I have mentioned over here. That is, for integer, for the value integer, it is actually storing a size of 4 bytes. Okay, so it is right. So mine is a 64-bit processor, so it actually stores a 4 bytes. Okay, and for float, it is actually storing a size of 4 bytes. Okay, for double, it is storing 8 bytes. For character, it is storing 1 byte, and for string, it is storing 6 bytes. Alright, but I don't have any characters of 1 byte over here. But how many characters I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have only 5 characters over here, right? I have only 5 characters over here, but it have taken 6 bytes of space. Now that is one question mark which we have. Now this is because along with this 5 characters over here, actually we have one more character which shows the end of a string. Okay, which is actually a default value which is actually given to it. Okay, so along with the 5 characters, that is HELLO, it actually stores one more character, that is a /0. This /0 actually represents it's the end of a string. It's a null character. /0 is actually a null character and it actually shows the end of a string. Okay, so what it means is it creates an array, that is in your memory locations. If you take your memory locations, okay, alright, so let's have a little more beautiful memory location. Okay, so if I divide this into smaller pieces like this, 1 2 3 4 5, okay, this particular memory, each alphabet requires 1 byte of memory location. So let's say this is 1 byte. Okay, so this here it will store H, okay, and here it will store E, here it will store L, here it will store the other L, and here it will store the O. After that HELLO, the 5 bytes has been allocated. After that, it have to show it is the end of the string. So by default, what happens is it stores a symbol like /0, null value. Okay, now once when the compiler hits over here, it knows that it's the completion of the string. Okay, so it displays these alphabets and neglecting over the null character. Okay, so otherwise it will have to read from the first character and it have to continue reading. Okay, and it will not know where to stop. Okay, so the programmers already have fed into the compiler that if it is a string, it is a set of alphabets, then look for a /0. Now the /0 will show that it is the end of a string. Alright, okay, so the compiler will move from here. Okay, compiler will start from here and moves till it hits /0. So once when it hits /0, it will stop and displays the remaining characters. Okay, so along with the /0 we have the 6 bytes of data. That is why so character, when it be inserted only A, it stored one value, 1 byte of memory was allocated. So in the case of a string, along with the number of alphabets plus 1 is the size of the memory location it is allocating. Okay, so I think it is all made clear over here. Alright, so if we take into the value as a short int, if it is a short int, okay, short int, then if we run this particular program, you will see that the size of the integer was previously 4 bytes. Now it have changed to 2 bytes over here. Okay, the size location have actually changed. So short is actually reducing the size. Now if it is a long, it will remain the same, right? So if it is long, it is 4 bytes itself. Okay, so if it was, so for integer we doesn't have much differences. Now let's see about long double. So it was already 8 bytes. Now let's see how much it is allocating. See here, now once when we kept long double, the size have got actually increased to 16 bytes. Alright, so this is how it's all about. So character, and for float we doesn't have any long. Okay, so since instead of long we go for long character array. Alright, so I think all these concepts are clear. Okay.